Well, I tell you, got a song here at number 30 on my fantasy playlist, March 18th, 1983. I'd forgotten all about. Got a great beat, though. It's got that car sound to it. The cars, that the techno beat. It's Rick Ocasek. I had forgotten Rick Ocasek's big hit as a solo artist was Emotions in Motion. I believe that was the name of the record. That was back in the fall of 1986, and completely forgot about this record. He released his first solo album in 1982 called Beatitude. Now I remember Beatitude, the album. The song rather, something to grab for at number 30 on my fantasy playlist. Got the car sound to it. And Jules Shear, the guy who wrote All Through the Night by Cyndi Lauper. He also wrote If She Knows What She Wants, something like that by the Bangles, which came out back in 1986 by the Bangles. He wrote those songs. He appears on this album, Beatitude by Rick Ocasek. Rick Ocasek up the Cars. Man, they just really hit it. It was late summer, fall of 78 when they came out with You're Just What I Needed. And then there was My Best Friend's Girl. That was probably the first song I was impressed with by the Cars because it had that rockabilly sound to it, My Best Friend's Girl. And then in the spring of 1979, Let the Good Times Roll. Which just, yes, I fell in love with that record. Although that one didn't make top 40. It went to number 41 or 42, 43, 44 on Billboard's Hot 100. Then you got the album Candy O, Let's Go, Shake It Up in 1982. Now you got his debut album in 1983. Rick Ocasek goes back. This guy goes back to the 60s. He hooked up with Ben Orr, guitar player. Ben Orr was a bass player back in the 60s. Rick Ocasek was originally from Maryland, but his parents moved to Cleveland. He was 16 years old, and he met Ben Orr, bass player. Ben Orr was in a band called the Grasshoppers, and he appeared on a television show. It was a local musical variety show in Cleveland. It was called Big Five Show. Rick Ocasek saw him perform, Ben Orr perform on that show, and they met. And they reconnected a few years later in Columbus, Ohio. They started booking bands together. They formed a band of their own and was playing together in Ohio and Michigan. They moved to Boston. Ben Orr and Rick Ocasek, they formed a band in Boston called Milkwood. Milkwood was kind of a folksy band, believe it or not, along the lines of Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. They released an album, didn't do anything. Flopped. The album flopped. And they formed another band. They teamed up, Ben Orr and Rick Ocasek teamed up with a guy named Elliot Easton, a guitar player. They created a band called Captain Swing. Captain Swing got some love from a DJ of prestige. Her name was Maxine Satori of WBCN in Boston, which was a legend back in the day. They broke U2, big station back in the day. And she was playing demos, playing songs off the demos that Captain Swing was supplying to her, but they tried to get a record deal. Captain Swing tried to get a record deal, and the record company said, no, we're not interested. Several times. Record companies, forget it. We're not interested in Captain Swing. And Rick Ocasek, he wound up, he let go his drummer, and he let go his bass player, and he formed another band. He added a drummer, and Ben Orr, actually, I think Ben Orr might have became the bass player, or, well, I can't remember, on bass player or whatever, but basically they became the Cars in late 1976, to make a long story short. So now we come to this album, it's Beatitude, which was produced by Rick Ocasek, by the way. And looking over my notes, see if there's anything else I need to mention. No, I guess I pretty much covered the basics. Classic, high techno, bubbly Cars sound, and this record something to grab for at number 30. Up one, though, from 31 on my fantasy playlist, March 18th, 1983.